From the Chattahoochee Tech Studios, this is your Paulding County Cast, catching you up on the latest news, social media, all the interesting happenings, and a whole lot more right here in Paulding County.
Welcome to your Paulding County Cast. Doug, I don't know how many times I want to reiterate that it's Paulding County Cast. It's our new name, but it's been that way for a while, so I'll have to stop saying it's the new name. I'm Melissa Carter, along with Doug Harding. If you're into your family history, you want to stay tuned because I have an interview with Shelly Sidhu, who's with Paulding County Genealogical Society. Now, Doug, I don't know if you and your family have done your genealogy, but my family has, and it is so fascinating.
Oh, yeah, me too. My dad did it. I found some really interesting stuff about my family. Nothing scandalous, but where we go back to. So yeah, it's really cool. So Shelly will fill you in on what she does and how you can be a part of it. But here are your top stories. The mother of an 18-year-old, Sienna Stewart, who collapsed at her graduation at Hiram High School and passed away weeks later, shared her daughter's incredible strength and perseverance. Siobhan Chum described her daughter's determination to graduate despite collapsing during the ceremony on May 23rd. Now, Sienna was diagnosed with severe cardiomyopathy at age 4 and had a heart transplant at 8, and she faced failure again this April. All she wanted to do was graduate, said Chun. Against all odds, Sienna walked across the stage to receive her diploma. Tragically, Sienna collapsed again 2 weeks later, passed away on June 12th. Her mother expressed immense pride in her daughter's bravery and resilience, and the family held a funeral service for Sienna just last Sunday. This from Fox 5. The North Paulding robotics team has returned victorious from Tennessee, where they competed in the MATE ROV competition. Facing off against 39 teams from 13 different countries, they triumphed and won first place, earning the prestigious title of world champions. Congrats to the robotics team on this incredible achievement. This from the Paulding County School District.
Well, I know a lot of people are making travel plans, and if you happen to be in the Cape Fear area in September, Paulding County's own Travis Tritt has announced a show there. Born in Marietta and currently residing in Hiram, Tritt will do a live show at the Cape Fear Vineyard and Winery in Elizabethtown, North Carolina on September 14th. So tickets to see the country legend are available through the winery. This from Bladen Online.
All right, Melissa, are you ready to be very, very warm? So, Paulding County, it's going to be sunny and 97 today in Hiram and also in Dallas, lows in the lower 70s. Partly cloudy and 92 tomorrow. Ooh, it's cooling off to 92 day. Tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be in Hiram and 91 in Dallas, lows in the lower 70s. Friday, partly cloudy and 94 degrees.
Hey, that's where you can actually put a jacket on. No, but it's so funny that Doug and I all through spring we're like, oh, we're almost there. And then it just lasted for like a week. And now we're at 100 degrees and we want to be back inside. So,
Johnny got his gun.
Learn how to succeed and win big in life, plus much, much more. Listen to the Red Hot Read podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
98.7 Chat Tech, where 98.7% of our students earn a career.
So for each of our programs at Chattahoochee Tech, we have an industry advisory committee. Those are people in each given industry that will employ our graduates when they get finished with our program.
We have students that are placed at manufacturing companies such as, let's say Glock, for example, the gun manufacturer, because they have machinery that's running 24/7 to create the guns. So all the way from that to healthcare, where like hospitals, for example, they're running 24/7 and they have machinery that needs to be running 24/7 as well.
My program is specifically for students who want to be in healthcare, but maybe don't want patient contact. Maybe they want to be in healthcare, in a healthcare field that's recession-proof and they're helping people, but maybe they don't want blood, body fluids, any of those elements in their life. So they may choose healthcare management to be on the opposite side of the patient care.
Visit chattahoocheetech.edu, where 98.7% of our students earn a career.
And we're back with more of your Paulding County Cast.
All right, well, from WSB's Facebook page, Georgia police officer has been arrested for DUI and placed on leave. Officer Devin Batten was busted around 3:30 a.m. and was stripped of his equipment that day. Kareem Wilson said, leave? He needs to be fired. Brian Gabriel said now he will begin his journey along the county by county, city to city circuit. Willie Jackson said they should see how many DUIs he wrote while on duty and sentence him accordingly. Felix Fernandez said, LMAO, I knew it. They just like all of us and they like to party hard. From the What's Happening in Paulding County Facebook page, Tara Henry said, now this is a long post, but bear with me, because she was at Douglas Donuts in Hiram, and she had a review. I went yesterday at 10:45. Not busy. We ordered 2 breakfast sandwiches. They were out of croissants, so they asked us if we wanted everything bagels instead. We said yes. When we opened the bag, later, both sandwiches were wrong. Neither was an everything bagel, and my daughter's was supposed to not have an egg, but it did. So the breakfast sandwiches were a disappointment. In addition to 2 sandwiches, we ordered 6 donuts. The donuts were delicious, though. All total, with 2 bottles of water, the cost was $32. So pricey, and the order was wrong. Will I go back? Maybe. Kimberly Anderson said sprinkles in Villa Rica is the best. We tried Douglas Donuts, and we're not impressed. B. Klotfelter said, I went twice. They were out of everything. I told them they just need to make more. Katie Womack said, my question is, why are you putting a review on sandwiches that you didn't even look at before you walked out the door? You always look at your order to make sure it's correct before you leave. They may have made a mistake, but you did too. Melody Cooper said, did you let them know the order was wrong? If they weren't made aware, then it's not fair to blast them on Facebook, just my opinion. A lot of people had things to say. Wayne Wiley said, does Paulding County not have a vent page? Well, guess what, Wayne? Yes, we do. It's our number here at the Paulding County Cast. Just give us a call at 404-997-8655, and that's open to anybody who wants to vent about anything in Paulding County. We want to hear from you.
All right, a question for you, Melissa. So when you go order food somewhere, do you always check the food on the way out? Because I never do.
I never do. I mean, I know that was one of the comments, and I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't. Unless it's a place where I've been burned a couple times, then I do. But normally, no. I trust too much, Doug.
Me too.
Story of my life. Your weird story comes from New Zealand. Now, this is every guy's nightmare. A woman in New Zealand has sued her ex-boyfriend after he failed to take her to the airport, causing her to miss her flight. The woman said that she and her then partner had entered into a verbal contract in which he agreed to drop her off at the unnamed airport, then stay in her home while she was away to look after her dogs. She is seeking compensation from him for the cost of taking the alternative flight the next day, getting a shuttle service to the airport, and putting her dogs in a kennel. This from Sky News.
Wait, so let me get this straight, Melissa. This woman is single now?
Yes.
Okay, let me do some sleuthing here. She sounds like a winner.
And here's some events to get you out of the house.
Here's some fun stuff for you. Saturday starting at 6 p.m., City of Hiram's Red, White, and Boom at Grays Mill Park. July 1st beginning at 10 a.m., rededication and relocation of the 9/11 Liberty Garden Memorial at Veterans Park in Dallas. And July 4th, 7 o'clock, Red, White, and 80s in downtown Dallas. I'd like to go to that.
Activities coming up, yeah. A lot of fireworks coming. Coming up, my conversation with Shelly Sidhu and Brian Cochran from the Paulding County Genealogical Society and Research Library on how to really find out who your family members are. That's coming up next.
Life's a constant hustle, and at Credit Union of Georgia, our focus is crystal clear. It's all about you. Juggling a million things? We get it. That's why we're committed to providing the best service imaginable. We're not just your credit union, we're your financial allies. Knowledge is our power, from crafting basic budget plans to navigating the local home buying scene. Questions popping up? We've got you covered with fast, friendly answers. Because we want you to spend more time living your life. Imagine a financial institution that truly cares. That's Credit Union of Georgia inviting you to join us. If you live, work in Bartow, Cherokee, Cobb, Dawson, Paulding, Pickens, or Union County, we want you as a member of Credit Union of Georgia family. Because here, you're not just a member, you're part of a community that cares. Ready to experience banking that revolves around you? Call us at 678-486-1111 or visit cuofga.org. Credit Union of Georgia. Your financial journey, our priority.
A new, exciting podcast about dads for dads. Legacy Makers, a conversation for dads. Download now wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's meet some of the interesting people in our neighborhood.
I am joined now by Shelly Sidhu, who's the social media director and DNA advisor of the Paulding County Genealogical Society and Research Library, and Brian Cochran is vice president and treasurer. Guys, thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Thank you so much, Melissa. We're happy to be here.
I had mentioned to Shelly and Brian off air that I am really interested in what you guys do because my sister for the past 30 or 40 years has done our genealogy in our family. So I think a lot of people associate genealogy with some of the online services where, you spit in the tube and you send it back and you get these results. I know my sister, watching her all these years, she physically would travel to libraries like yours in order to find out more about her family. And every time a census has been unlocked, she gets excited because she gets to see more documents. So explain a little bit for people who are new to genealogy, interested in it, what you guys do.
You're exactly right. There are so many options out there today, a lot of pros and cons to each option. So we have these scenarios with people traveling around and going to the libraries, courthouses, and digging through these old records. And we're really fortunate in today's world, the digital world, a lot of those records, we can find them online, but not all of them. It's kind of a balancing act of deciding where you can find certain things. And people do get confused in exactly where to go and knowing what to look for and where to look for it. That's where us as the Genealogical Society, I think we do become important. That's where people come to us and trying to figure out exactly what they need to do. Now, on the DNA stuff, that is the other huge breakthrough. Shelly can speak a lot into that, and it's one of her incredible talents. And we've seen a lot of mysteries solved in that approach, too.
Well, the DNA part of it is, I don't think of it as taking over genealogy, but it definitely is an enhancement. It can help send you in the right direction when you don't know where to go. One of the things that is helpful is learning about how to read your DNA matches. There's so much that is confusing when you first start. And that way it's helpful to talk to people. A lot of people learn about it from YouTube videos. They read books to help them understand these things better, or they find somebody who has worked on it themselves and they network.
Shelly, there's a thing that my sister discovered. I think this was after DNA technology came into place. And it sounds very, very Southern. But my last name is Carter, and there's actually a Carter Society. And I used to have to say it with like a Carter Society, very Southern. But it's basically where the men in the lineage offer some kind of substance in order for them to have their DNA. And she learned so much about, like, for instance, and I'm not trying to brag, guys. No, but when we were younger, like I said, I grew up in Tennessee. I grew up outside of Nashville. The Carter family, Mother Maybelle Carter and June Carter and all those, we had a sneaking suspicion we were related to them because we had Kentucky roots as well. It was through the DNA that my sister was able to confirm that. For people like my sister, I think the DNA technology just enhanced, like you were leading to, Shelly, that it kind of enhances what you're already doing and kind of confirms suspicions like we had. Now, Brian, do you think that DNA has helped a lot of people really, truly find those, empty holes maybe in their lineage?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's filling in gaps that the records just don't exist. A lot of situations, no matter how hard we dig, how many different places we go, we will not find those answers. And it's DNA that can handle that. And as Shelly mentioned, it's just a matter of being able to understand the results you get back. And that's why a lot of times I send those over to Shelly. We put me in the courthouse digging through records. That's one thing. But when it comes to DNA, Shelly's the go-to person. And it can be confusing. We see so many different scenarios. It's probably the most important breakthrough right now with genealogy is the DNA.
In cases such as adoption, DNA can help bridge that brick wall that they have of adoption records. They can get right in there. They can see who their closest matches are. And they might find actually that it was not themselves that were adopted, but their father or grandparents. Also, you might have a brick wall ancestor that you can't find their parents no matter what. It's like they just, beamed down from a UFO into the middle of Virginia field, and you don't know where they came from, who their parents were. And that was a case in my family where we knew that he was born in 1796. And autosomal DNA is really good for about 200 years back. With him being born in 1796, I actually had the DNA from an older relative. In studying our matches, I was actually able to find that they linked to a certain family, and they knew the parents of who I believed was a sibling of my ancestor. It wasn't, though. I had to go back to the old genealogy, hitting the books and the courthouse records, and I actually found a document that named my ancestor and his parents.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Shelly, because, my sister, I will admit, is very biased against some of these online sites. She enjoys the fact that has introduced a lot of people to genealogy. But at the same time, it's like you said, the records, the books, you have to do the research to really conclude who is related to who. And then like in your case, with the DNA, I've seen or heard where people learned they're adopted through the DNA research and having no idea, nobody shared with them that fact. And it's not to diminish families. Families come in all shapes and sizes, but I do think that has to be in consideration for this. And people need to be sensitive to that fact that when you're looking at this, you're looking at physical relations, right? Which may be separate than the family that raised you.
The point is, we don't really know what happened back in the day, what kind of situations were. Any new bit of information just helps patch everything together.
And my sister gets so excited when the census record is open. And then I notice every time we have the census happen, that there are people who don't participate. And I remember posting one time on social media, I'm like, if you like genealogy and you're not participating in the census, then you're kind of a hypocrite, because that's important records as well for people in the future to be able to see where we went, where we moved to, how we kind of migrated wherever we came from to wherever we're going.
I can't imagine what it's going to be like for future genealogists to research people living now. Everything that we leave out there is a clue to the type of people that we are. Looking into the past, we have to search things like church records, social records, newspapers, things that are in abundance right now. We have everything under the sun to leave our mark on. In this last census, I was actually disappointed that it was only our names taken.
Those census records, they've answered so many questions. And sometimes that's the only thing some people have to go with. Of course, we do meet people, and we know some that do not like to participate in the census records. I believe that it is important, at least the basic information. Can't imagine doing genealogy without them.
Well, and I didn't think about the fact that the census, the information is getting more, I'm sure, efficient for them, but it's getting more, or less for the people in the future. Didn't think about that. Well, if somebody is like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that the Paulding County Genealogical Society and Research Library existed. How can I get involved? How can I support? Let us know websites and emails and phone numbers. What do people need to have?
We're right in downtown Dallas. It's 160 Confederate Avenue, but a lot of people are familiar with the Regions Bank that's on the corner in downtown Dallas. So our office is right there with the Regions Bank. Easy to find. We're open on Tuesdays, Thursdays from about 9 until 3 o'clock. We almost always have someone in the office, always ready to help. We're also on Facebook, so easy to find us there, just at the Paulding County Genealogical Society. And then our website is pcresearchlibrary.com. So a lot of information there. And then lastly, we have programs, monthly programs. The majority of the time, the programs are the first Saturday of each month at the Dallas Library. It's free events. It can be on anything imaginable, from old sports, military, Civil War, families, the founders and pioneers of the county. So we touch on so many different subjects, and you can always find information about the programs on Facebook and the website also.
Shelly and Brian, thank you so much for joining the podcast, and thank you for what you do.
Yes, thank you so much, Melissa.
Whether you're new to church, have been a Christian for many years, or looking for a fresh start, you're welcome at New Season Church. New Season is a place where people can believe in God, belong to a family of believers, and become fully devoted followers. We exist so that people far from God may experience life in Christ and become fully engaged followers. Join us for one of our 2 Sunday services, 9 or 11 a.m.
Hi, this is Pastor Steve Flockhart. Whether you're new to the Paulding community or have been here since the day you were born, New Season Church is a place where all are welcome. From our exciting children and student ministries to our engaging Bible studies and small groups and events, I promise New Season Church has a place for you.
New Season Church, just off Highway 278 at 4457 Atlanta Highway in Hiram. We exist so that people far from God may experience life in Christ and become fully engaged followers. New Season looks forward to seeing your entire family this Sunday, and feel free to check us out online at newseason.cc. We believe what comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us. We look forward to seeing you Sunday at 9 or 11 a.m. at New Season Church. Church in Hiram. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Paulding County Cast wherever you get your podcasts. Checking your sports, the Braves are in St. Louis tonight to wrap up their series with the Cardinals before heading to Chicago to face the White Sox. And WNBA action when Caitlin Clark and the Fever were in town and defeated the Dream Thursday. It was in front of 17,000 fans at State Farm Arena, thus setting a Dream record for a single game home attendance. They'll be in Connecticut to face the Sun on Friday.
And they had to move the game to State Farm Arena when Caitlin Clark was in town. And it was sold out. I mean, yeah, that's awesome for women's sports. And finally, a woman in Georgia narrowly escaped death after being dropped from a dumpster into a garbage truck. The incident occurred around noon on Thursday near a Captain D's restaurant in Bainbridge. The garbage truck emptied the dumpster when the woman was inside, but the driver did not immediately activate the compactor. Now, witnesses from a nearby store saw the woman fall, quickly intervened, stopping the truck and calling 911. The woman, who sustained significant injuries from the fall and the truck's compactor blades, was later airlifted to an area hospital. Her condition remains unknown. Now, Walton suggested that she likely was dumpster diving as her bicycle was found next to the dumpster. This from the Athens Banner-Herald.
Oh, all of a sudden I feel really awful for this woman.
Yeah, it is awful. Poor thing.
Thanks for listening to the Paulding County Cast. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. All rights reserved.
This podcast aggregate content from other sources for informational purposes and is in no way trying to infringe on the copyrights or businesses of any other entities. All content posted up on the site is used under the Fair Use Copyright Law 107. All audio, media, and articles are copyrighted to the original owners. All audio on this podcast are embedded from YouTube.com and are owned by the respective copyright owners. No audio information are copyrighted or stored on our servers. The court ruled that linking or embedding copyrighted videos is not copyright infringement, even if the source video was uploaded without permission. However, we will gladly remove any audio clip upon valid request from respective copyright owners. Any owners also have the option to disable embedding his YouTube videos on other websites. News and press articles are owned by the respective copyright owners. Where possible, the appropriate accreditation or source of the article is given on the same page. The audio-video files on this site are for listening purposes only. Downloading of these files to one's computer is strictly prohibited. They are owned by the respective copyright owners. If it is in the organization's belief that the usage or specific content used on our site containing copyrighted knowledge conflicts with authorized use and or does not comply with fair use as described in the context, contact us through our contact page and we will remove the offending content immediately. Thanks for listening to the Paulding County Cast.